Hello and welcome to this tutorial video as we look at Google Classroom's integration with NotebookLM. I am Kyle Krenz, a Technology Integrationist with SWWC. You may be familiar with NotebookLM, an AI generation platform that creates new content from sources that you input into it to use. In doing so, you do not have to think about where the AI platform is generating its information from when it's generating new content for you. For instance, you could input into a NotebookLM a PDF of an article you read as a class. Then you can generate additional content off that article you input. As a reminder, you can always access NotebookLM in your Google Education account. From your Google 9 dots, look for the NotebookLM icon. Click on it to open the application. Once inside the application, you can create a new notebook or enter in an already created one. Once in your notebook, you can upload your own sources. This can include PDFs, slideshows, websites, or simply searching the web from within NotebookLM. Once your sources are inputted, on the right-hand side of the screen, you can create many different types of content. The info from the content creations will be based upon the sources that you placed into the notebook. You can create flashcard, quizzes, slide decks, audio podcasts, and video overviews amongst other creations. All this newly created content will be saved on the right-hand side of the notebook and will stay within this notebook. Now that we have reviewed NotebookLM, let's look at how Google Classroom and NotebookLM can work together for educators and students. Google Classroom and NotebookLM are both Google products, so it makes sense that eventually they would become integrated into one another, and that is exactly what Google has begun to do. How does NotebookLM work? From within Google Classroom, you as the educator go into a classroom course and access the classwork page. Click the blue Create button from the drop-down menu and select the NotebookLM option. Once you do, a window will open in which you can select an existing NotebookLM file you have already created or start a new one from scratch. If you are wanting to place the sources into the notebook file for students, I suggest creating an existing notebook file and then placing it into Google Classroom. So for our example, I will select Existing. In the next window, you will then choose which notebook file you want to import into Google Classroom. Once the NotebookLM file is set up and created, it will be posted as a materials post in your Google Classroom course for students to open and interact with, just like any other assignment or materials post that your students can find in Google Classroom. Your students, by having access to the NotebookLM file, can then create content to help them review and study content for your classes, such as flashcards, an audio podcast, amongst other items. How could student benefits from this platform? The easiest way I can see students using this in my mind is preparing for a test or a quiz. They have materials they can use as resources to study from, including their notes, that they can place in the NotebookLM for it to generate vocab lists, a study guide, a fact sheet, among other items to help them prepare and study for their upcoming assessment. You as the educator can upload slide decks, PDFs, sections of your textbook into NotebookLM for them to then create new study tools to help them learn and review content. Please make sure that before you have students use any AI platform, including NotebookLM, you go over with your students how to properly interact and use an AI platform, including going over data privacy and safety issues. So, if you are a Google Education account using school, feel free to take advantage of this new integration between Google Classroom and Google's NotebookLM. Thank you for your time and attention.